Good evening, darlings. I'm glad you've come to join me. Please take a seat. Make yourselves comfortable by the fire as we prepare to embark on a journey together. Tonight, we bring to light the inspiring tale of a hero of old, a name and legacy passed down through the ages, one still held in quiet reverence among the vampire people even now. His life gave rise to works that have endured the test of time. And so, it is only fitting that we revisit his story to learn from his trials and his triumphs, and perhaps to renew his efforts in our own time. And so, without further ado, let us begin the story of the cartographer of the Outer Vale. Long ago, before the borders of the magical realm were drawn in ink and law, there lived a vampire named Aurelian Voss, a scholar not of books but of the unknown. While others of his kind clung to castles and whispered politics in candlelit halls, Aurelian grew restless. The maps of the realm ended too neatly, too conveniently. Beyond the final inked line lay only a phrase: "Here, the Vale begins." Aurelian did not believe in such endings. So one quiet evening, beneath a violet sky, he packed his journals, sealed them in leather, and stepped beyond the last marked road into the Outer Vale. At first, the land seemed merely forgotten. Ruined arches swallowed by vines, rivers that flowed silently, as though afraid to be heard, trees whose leaves shimmered like glass, chiming softly in the wind. But the deeper he traveled, the more the world shifted. Shadows did not obey their sources. Whispers echoed without voices, and creatures, strange, elegant, and terrible, watched him from the spaces between things. One night, while charting a valley that did not exist on any known map, Aurelian was set upon by a swarm of shadow creatures, thin, flickering forms with too many limbs and no true shape. They did not roar, they unraveled, stretching toward him like ink spilled across reality itself. Aurelian did not flee. Instead, he stood still, pale eyes reflecting their distorted forms, and spoke in a voice that had not trembled in centuries. "Curiosity is not prey." The shadows hesitated, then lunged. The battle was not one of strength, but of will. Aurelian moved like moonlight, precise, deliberate. His cloak tore through shifting forms, his hands tracing sigils in the air that forced the creatures to hold shape, if only for a moment. And in those moments he understood them. Not monsters, not entirely. Fragments, lost things, echoes without origin. When the last shadow dissolved into the night, Aurelian did not celebrate. He simply wrote, "They are not enemies," he recorded. "They are questions that have forgotten how to ask themselves." Days later, or perhaps years, time behaved strangely there. Aurelian encountered something far more formidable, a serpent. Not merely large, but ancient. Its body coiled through the ruins of a fallen temple, scales like polished obsidian, eyes glowing with a quiet, dangerous intelligence. It did not strike. It watched. "Have you come to conquer?" the serpent asked, its voice low and resonant, echoing through stone and bone alike. Aurelian tilted his head slightly. "No," he said, "only to understand." The serpent's eyes narrowed. "Then you are either a fool, or something far more dangerous." For a long moment, neither moved. Then, slowly, Aurelian did something no warrior would dare. He sat, right there on the cold stone floor, and opened his journal. "I could attempt to kill you," he said calmly, dipping his pen into ink. "But I would learn nothing from your silence." The serpent studied him, long, deeply. Then, with a sound like shifting mountains, it lowered its head. "You may call me Seraphi," it said. From that moment on, the vampire did not travel alone. Seraphi became his companion, guide, guardian, and occasionally critic. Where Aurelian saw patterns, Seraphi saw truths. Where Aurelian asked questions, Seraphi answered with riddles. Together, they crossed landscapes no mind had ever catalogued, fields where gravity flowed sideways. Lakes that reflected not the sky, but memory. Cities built entirely from forgotten dreams. And Aurelian wrote endlessly. His journals grew into a compendium, a living map of the unknown, filled not just with places, but with meaning. He did not draw borders, he described experiences. He did not name creatures, he recorded their nature. And slowly, the outer veil changed. Not because it was conquered, but because it was seen. Many years later, though none could say how many, Aurelian returned, not as a conqueror, not as a hero, but as something rarer, a witness. He placed his compendium upon a stone table in the great halls of the realm. Scholars gathered, nobles whispered, kings demanded answers. Aurelian simply said, "The world does not end where your maps do." And when they asked him what lay beyond the veil, he smiled, just faintly. "Everything you are too afraid to understand." And that night, as the realm slept safely within its borders, somewhere far beyond the last line of ink, a shadow paused, a serpent stirred, and the outer veil waited. And so, our tale comes to a close. I do hope you found something of value in Aurelian's journey, whether it be inspiration, or perhaps a quiet reminder that the unknown is not always something to be feared. Sometimes, it is simply waiting to be understood. Now, the fire burns low, and the hour grows late. So I will leave you here in the comfort of your thoughts and your dreams. Sleep well, darlings. And should you find yourselves wandering beyond the edges of your own familiar world, do be careful what questions you choose to ask. Good night. Tonight, we bring to light the inspiring tale of a hero of old. A name and legacy passed down through the ages, one still held in quiet reverence among the vampire people even now. His life gave rise to works that have endured the test of time. And so,